Hello guys, today is Monday? Yes, Monday, January 7th. Um, I haven't made a video in a couple weeks, which is fine because there's not a whole lot going on in my life except for just recently things started happening again. Like last night, but we'll get to that. First of all, I want to go back to a couple of your guys' videos. First of all, your guys' Nancy and Tucker, your guys' talk show was ridiculously adorable and really gay, but really cute. Fun fact, I currently have 7 pillows that inhabit my bed full time, which is pretty friggin' fantastic, because having a double bed is... Oh, here it is! 7 pillows also sometimes obscure things that you're looking for, like a Kobo. Um, Having a double bed is really weird after having a single bed for so long, because, you know, single bed you're used to like a pretty confined space, and when you have a double bed, um, there's a lot of room, and especially because like this mattress didn't smell like my own for a while, so it smelled like the other guy, the person who owned it before me. So there'd be times when I would wake up in my bed and I'd be like, dear God, like who's laying beside me, because I'd smell someone so strongly, and it was just my mattress. So that was fun times. So I bought 7 pillows so I'd have things to have with me on my bed, but now I have so much other like shit on my bed that the pillows were ultimately unnecessary, because me being me, um, I'm a slob anyways, so whatever. I have like towels and things from my footy pajamas, and like, you know, a chef's jacket, because you just need these things sometimes. So, I completely forgot where I was originally going with this story, so I'm just gonna restart again because I am just all over the place today. So, I've had a lot of time off in these last couple of weeks since it's been so dead at the hotel. And I had actually applied for a job at the Youth Emergency Shelter, which is just a couple blocks down the street. They needed a kitchen assistant. I had applied, and we had done some communicating, not very much though, and they're like, yeah, you know, you seem perfect for this position, you know, we should meet up sometime this week. And then last week, they gave me a shout, and they're like, hey, is Kenzie there? And I was like, speaking? They're like, hey, Kenzie, this is the Youth Emergency Shelter. We're calling because, actually, I don't even know if you know this story yet. We don't communicate a lot, Shay and I. They were like, hey, so you wanted the position's yours. And I was like, oh, awesome, thanks. Like, the only thing is, we have someone else who is qualified for the position, and we need someone now, so we need to know right now if you can take the position or not. And I was like, well, you know, we haven't talked about wage, we haven't talked about my hours, we haven't talked about responsibility, like any of that. Like, I don't really know what all of this is going to entail. And so they were like, well, we can talk about that later. We can pretty much match your wage. We can give you about $15 an hour. Your hours will be 8 hours guaranteed a day to 16 hours a day, and you will not always get Sundays off. And I was like, well, the Sundays thing, like, I can work with, but I don't think I can, you know, I was like, that's a lot. And they're like, yeah, we kind of need you, you know, in like a week. And so I ultimately, after having a really panicked conversation, they were like super weird about it, and I was like, something just didn't feel right, and I was really hesitant to like give up everything that I had worked for. So I had to say no, which was kind of rough. I was pretty choked about it, but I mean, they didn't give me enough time to figure everything out, and I wouldn't have been able to give my current work 2 weeks notice, which wouldn't have even been a huge deal. I just don't feel comfortable screwing people over, because, I mean, in this industry they can do that to me easily, so I had to say no to that, so I was a little bit sad, and then Eric brought me ice cream to make me feel better, which didn't make me feel better because I'm lactose intolerant, but I ate it anyways, and it was glorious. It was delicious. It was triple chocolate. It was good. So yeah, so I've had a lot of time off. I bought a lot of fabric I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's actually really cool. It's really great fabric, so I'm going to have to figure out something awesome to do with it. I have been taking lots of vitamin D. It's beside my bed at all times. Well, this one has the seal on it. The other one I actually just finished off this morning, which probably isn't a good thing. I've been taking, like, how much are these? They're vegetarian. Good to know. These ones are... That doesn't matter. I'm taking 4 of them, and I only need to take 2 a day, so I've been pretty manic, which I think has been freaking poor Eric out a little bit, but in that man's defense, he is a champ. He takes all of the mood swings, all of the shit, and all of the crazy that I can throw at him. He takes it in a stride and cries only every once in a while, so it's pretty great. I lucked out, actually, with him, so, you know, that's always awesome. Speaking of not awesome, though, there's this kid, and I mean kid, he's like newly 18, just moved out of the smallest town in buttfuck nowhere, rural Alberta. Like, it is ridiculous, this tiny little place that he moved from, and so he's like super naive and super young, and we've been working together for about a month, and he apparently was under the impression that we were like an item. Because we'd hang out at work, and then we hung out once out of work, and we went and walked around downtown Edmonton for a couple of hours, and went and had tea afterwards. And so, you know, and it was really weird, because around the kitchen, everyone knows about Eric. And I talk about him incessantly. Well, not so much, I guess, to hot side, but like when it's me and Graham and cold side, we, you know, talk about our significant others. He's married, and I have Eric. And apparently Levi missed the note. And so when we were hanging out, you know, out of work, I talk about my normal everyday life because I thought me and Levi were friends. And so I was, you know, talking about me and Eric this, me and Eric that, and he's like, hey, you want to hang out on Sunday? And I was like, oh, I can't, you know, Sunday being yesterday. I was like, well, first of all, it's our Christmas party, so that's not going to work. And second of all, Eric and I are going to church, and then we're going to go to a Burton demo and then go snowboarding. And he's like, oh, okay, Eric's your roommate, right? And I was like, no, Aaron's my roommate. And I hadn't even clued in because I'm so ridiculously, and I already had 7.5 friggin' minutes. I have to edit this or something. I don't even know if I can because I upload right onto YouTube. Anyways, long story short, last night we were at the Christmas party. Everyone was having a beautiful time. We were sitting at the table. Things got kind of quiet for a couple of minutes. And he turns to me and he's like, so, who's Eric? Like, a little upset. And I was like, Eric's my boyfriend. And he's like, oh, so you and me? I was like, you and me what? She's like, I thought we were, you know, like, going out. And I was like, no. 2 reasons, 3 reasons. 1, Eric. 2, you're a baby. Like, you're 18 years old. And I know that I'm only 20. Like, that's not a huge age difference. But I haven't acted my age since I was, like, really young. I feel like you guys can probably vouch for that. You know, when you own your own property management business at 13, you kind of got to not be 13. And 3, coworkers. I don't date coworkers. But that brings me back to number 1. I don't date, period, other people because I'm dating Eric. So that was awkward. He left the party shortly after. But yeah, so last night was my staff Christmas party, and I'm going to have to go over this quickly, which is unfortunate because it was so much fun. And when you're in your whites, you pretty much, you know, I wear very little makeup at work, and my hair is always like in a bun on the top of my head, and I have this really ugly hat on, and I have, you know, these really unflattering jackets. They're just like, you know, these big baggy white rectangles on my body and really baggy pants and whatever. Usually I wear scrubs. And so when you see people out of uniform, it's always really disconcerting because you realize that A, people have curves and butts and hair and features. Like, it's odd. So last night, you know, people aren't used to seeing each other dressed up and stuff. So, you know, I'd been snowboarding, and we went to have a Burton demo, and I was really grumpy because the snow was so bad, and I'm so bad at snowboarding. And well, there was a 12 and under snowboard competition too on the hill that day, and of course that would be the day that Eric takes me to go snowboarding again. So I've got these kids that are like knee height, boarding down the hill and are kicking my ass, and I just got so upset because I'm not usually bad at things like that because, like, you know, that's not something you'd expect to be really, really bad at, and I was, and so I got grumpy. And I'm also, like, granted, I am afraid of going fast and hurting myself, and so I don't really take chances on the hill, which is something that I'm not going to not do anymore, because I need to learn how to actually have 4 months. Anyway, it's irrelevant. Anyways, I got upset, and so I was really tired, and I got to the hill, and I got to the party, and I was late, and I was super jazzed on coffee and tiredness, and so I get there, and everyone's like, whoa, like, everyone thought that I looked so different, and so everyone, all of these Asians, they're mostly Asians at the hotel, and, like, Korean and Chinese, and Turkish. So everyone was taking pictures and pictures, and the dance floor was not so much a dance floor as people dancing, posing, and then having their picture taken, and it was really funny. So the first hour of me being there, before I even got to go sit down at my table, which is going and hopping from picture to picture, and everyone was like, Kenzie, Kenzie, come over here. And so I was like, you look so different. And then our kosher chef, Eddie, is so funny. He comes up to our table where it was me and a couple other people from the kitchen, and, you know, none of us really look awesome other than when we're not in our street clothes, other than when we are in our street clothes. And so he comes up to me, and he comes up to the table, and he looks at everyone, and he's like, hi, and he looks at me, he's like, Kenzie, and he, like, cups my face, he's like, you're a woman! And I was like, oh, thanks, Eddie, because me and Eddie always work really close together when we're in kosher, because he likes people who know what they're doing in the kitchen and who speak English, and that narrows it down to, like, 4 people in the kitchen. So I had a really great time last night, and I stayed there. I was like, oh, I don't really want to go. I'm only going to be there for like an hour. So I got there at 6, and I stayed, or 6:30, and I stayed until 11. And I danced for a couple minutes, and I drank, and I had lots of pictures taken, and had the really awkward moment with Levi, and all of those fun things. So anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Oh, there we go. And I am going to hopefully be able to edit this video, and if not, I'm so sorry. And if you get to this point, thank you for sticking with me. I love you so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye. I didn't stop it!